Joy Reid is being brought through the ringer right now for this unhinged rant that she went on about how immigrants would have somehow saved the Roman Empire and how they weren't diverse enough. She basically says like as many wrong things in a small clip as she possibly could say. So without further ado, here it is.
Each community on earth. If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died. If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all.
There are literally so many falsehoods in just such a short video, so I'm going to break them down one at a time. The first thing she says that if we go all white, that we're going to become struggling and aging and awful like Europe. And here's the thing with that. So Europe is aging and struggling, and I'm talking about Western Europe, like the EU, France, England, the UK, that's what I'm talking about. But they're not struggling because they're all white. If anyone's ever been to London or Paris or Amsterdam recently, you'll know that you're not going to see a majority of whites there. It's going to be a lot of black people, a lot of Arabs, lots of immigrants. So it's a weird thing to say. And then, of course, she goes to the Roman Empire, which has the exact same problem. She's basically saying the exact opposite of what is true. She says that the Roman Empire was not diverse enough. However, Rome fell to Germanic barbaric raids because they were too diverse. They were like spread out. They had way too much rampant immigration, which is exactly what the United States is going through right now. So the funniest part of all of this is what she's saying is the exact opposite of what is true. And what's really interesting too is that the premise of her argument, which I've seen a lot of people commenting on this video, but no one has actually talked about the premise of her argument. The premise is that we should be an empire. That's what she's saying. She's saying we should be like the old Roman Empire, the old British Empire. However, if that's true, then that would mean the exact opposite of what she says every day. Joy Reid literally every day calls white people colonizers and talks about how Columbus is evil, for example. And so now she's saying she wants us to be like Rome and the British Empire. So here's the real secret, guys. This is what Joy Reid wants. She wants us to be the fallen version of Rome. She wants us to be the fallen version of Great Britain, but like a classic leftist, she just turns around and just says a bold-faced lie, the opposite of what is true, because she knows what is true is actually what is popular. And so she has to say that, even though it's not actually what she believes. What she believes, of course, is that she wants rampant illegal immigration, and that diversity is somehow our strength, which is there's no actual justification for that. And she knows it. That's why she has to lie. So again, I would believe her, except she literally hates the US, talks about it repeatedly on her show, the show that got canceled, by the way. So basically that means the US should do the exact opposite of what Joy Reid says. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel to support me, as well as check out another video right here.